screen.
All right, we are live. Can you see me all right, Rob?
Yeah, but you're very blue. Blue.
All right, I'll work on it. I'm very blue. Okay, I'll work on it. Rob, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, bud?
Okay. First, just want to apologize for we had a few technology issues trying to get the system to cooperate, but away from that, we have some very good, valid content that we ready to deliver to you. And so stay tuned. Glad that you're here. And I think you'll find some awesome, great value from this content that we're about to give you, and you will receive yourself some aha moments. Justin is getting his computer aligned. It seemed like it's blue, so it looked like he's in the ocean somewhere, but it's all good. My name is Robert Shepard. I'm a health, lifestyle, and business coach. I help people to make lasting diet, lifestyle changes and bringing their vision to life. Now you may ask yourself, like, what is that? Well, you understand the health piece of it. You understand the lifestyle change, which is full rounded lifestyle happiness, and also to bring your vision to life, which some of us we understand what we want to do but doesn't understand how to bring it to the forefront and bring it to life. So that's where I come in and to help you to do that. All right, so now we have Justin up. Justin, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right, yep. My name's Justin Messina. I like to be called Jameis. It's just more what my friends call me, and it's more personable. And I'm a health and lifestyle coach. I love helping people, even within the health niche and basically the heart-led entrepreneurs, to really find their message. And really, the when it comes down to it, it's all about lifestyle freedom with me. So I align with people who like to feel that. And lifestyle freedom is about being where you want in the world when you want to do it, not having other people tell you what your dream is or where you should be at a certain time. You might find me in the ocean, Rob, at some point. I could be wherever. So just that's my message. And tonight we have just a great topic. I'm just gonna shift it right back over to you, Rob.
All right, so as you all know, the topic of this of tonight will be about zone of influence. Now, we picked that topic because I just thought it would have been it's a very powerful topic, because sometimes we're trying to figure out and wonder, why are we doing something and we cannot attract the right people to say yes? Or what are we putting out there and why people are not drawing to us? So we decided, you know what? Let's come up with and speak on the topic of the zone of influence. So we figure out we picked three main topic to talk about. And number one, we'll talk about how you can begin to stretch and increase your zone of influence. That'll be one. And also why association is so powerful. I mean, why your zone of influence is so powerful to you and what it means to others. And also, where is your zone of influence? So those are the three topics that we're going to be speaking on tonight. Very clear. And if you have any questions, please make your comment. Please comment below the video. We'll come back to any questions you have, but I think this is going to be very powerful. Try to get as much as you can out of it, because you will leave here with saying to yourself, wow, now I see why I've been posting so long on Facebook for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and I can't get a yes. Why am I out there? What's wrong? What's going on? And you're asking yourself those questions because I was there. I was asking myself, why am I putting out so many content and I can't get a yes? What's going on? But once I kind of figure it out, where is my zone of influence? For now, what you do is not for everybody. So you have to shift into finding your zone of influence. All right, so I'm going to turn it back over to Justin, and you can go right ahead, man.
Yeah, this is something that occurs in pretty much anybody's life, because you're not gonna be born or start where you're supposed to end up. And I mean, this goes beyond people, but just with people, the people that you're around within your whether it's we went through nutrition school, Rob and I, and there's a lot of people pulling you in certain ways. So anything with business related or whatever, you're always being pulled in different directions, whether you realize it or not. Just because whatever you're being exposed to is automatically influencing you, whether you like it or not. It's just how we're built as human beings. And I did want to mention this idea of leading on purpose, because when you lead on purpose, it's about, there's no separation between what is my business and how am I behaving in my everyday life. And what that really boils down to is, what a lot of people will try to do is recreate themselves or recreate an idea to say, this is what I need my business to be. But in reality, there's a group of people probably right now that you're within, and if it's a group of people you feel like you're already in kind of the right place, you can already influence that group of people in a huge way just by imparting the right sort of wisdom, the right sort of mindset into that group. I don't want to get ahead of myself with that topic, but when it comes down to it, everything needs to be in alignment with where you're going, and it needs to be all in. It needs to be. I'm going to touch on being all in and not having any sort of separation between what you want and who you're around, and what sort of books you're reading, what sort of environmental influences you have around you. It all matters so much more than any sort of piece of information you might find or understanding a certain marketing strategy. Your zone of influence is really everything. So shoot it back over to you, Rob, and we'll start to go through these points one by one tonight, like we have outlined.
All right. Yeah, definitely. That's a very powerful there, Justin. And you're absolutely right as far as what you're saying is, when you focus on that part of it and make sure that everything is in alignment, it comes from your heart. And your zone and the people that you're influencing can feel it and detect it, that you're real, you're being authentic, you're not trying to be someone else, and you will just automatically sell them onto what you're doing without you're trying to be a salesperson. So that is very powerful. I mean, if you notice at times, if you guys follow me, I don't wait to be a perfection with a video camera or wait to set up this facade of something that I'm not. I will just flip the camera out and just do a video. And that's how you're going to attract people to feel and believe in you as an individual, and also to be aligned in your zone of influence. So as leaders, we are challenged to maintain the focus on problems we have influence over. Anything else is a waste or a diffusion of our precious energy. So anything else after that, you're just kind of just out there in the world, just kind of doing your thing and not really zoning in and focusing. So how can we begin to stretch and increase your zone of influence? That's the big topic. All right, here you go. By focusing on your zone of influence and only your zone of influence, only yours, not someone else. Don't try to look at someone else and say, okay, I'm gonna imitate what Rob Shepard's doing, or I'm gonna imitate what Justin doing. If you're gonna do that, do it, but make it better, to create your own and improve on it to be better. All right. So you want to make sure you're positioning yourself to be a master. Be a master in what you do. Okay. Being a master doesn't mean that you're gonna be, oh, I've been doing it for 7 years, so that means I'm a master. You can be a master by starting something today and just decided to yourself that I'm going to zone in on what you're working on and become that master at it today. Don't ever underjudge yourself and feel that you are not good because you haven't been out long enough. That doesn't mean anything. The greatest today is the ones that just started yesterday. Because you know why? They have a power of zone of influence that they have to make happen now. So you will find, you will go out and you say to yourself, wait a minute, I'm here, but this person started yesterday, but they're giving you above and beyond whatever it is because they have more to prove than the person that's been out for 20 years. Okay, so that's how you can be a master at what you do. So never underjudge yourself. And that's an awesome and a great feeling to be in that position. Now, as Justin talked about before, you got to lead with purpose. What's your purpose? What's your mission? What is your message? Make sure that is clearly defined. Like, very simple. When someone reach out to you, you know exactly what your message is in a very quick and short sentence. Not rambling on, not guessing, not saying, okay, here we go. And whenever you go somewhere, you always have to remember, when you're going in, when you leave that place, is anyone going to say, wow, I remember, just to use an example, I remember Marsha Brown. She was so influential to us here. You don't have to become the top income earner to become someone of influence. You can just go somewhere and make your mark, leave your mark. Because why? You understand how to attract people to come within your zone. All right? And you have to have that positive, straighten yourself, carry yourself in a certain way. That means you're going to have people drawn to you. And when you're conversating, always remember the conversation is going to steer towards them, not towards you. You don't want to be, you're not going to attract people to you by saying, I am this, I am that. Like, for instance, for me, I'm not going to go out there and say, oh, I am a fitness trainer, I am a business coach. I already give you my elevator speech. I already give you my message when we first conversate. Now I want to hear about you. And now in the meantime we're conversating, you want to be able to give the solution. So while you're conversating with that person, this is powerful now. This is powerful. While you're conversating with that individual, you're giving them value in the meantime, and you are capitalizing, pulling them into your zone by being influential. And I'm gonna give you some example, because these things are gonna help out a lot. I was actually out at a fitness fair on this past Saturday, and while I was there, a lady approached me. They had a table set up, and she was in a network marketing business, and she were marketing a certain type of product. So in the meantime, we started conversating, and now she's actually wanted me to get into what she's doing and everything. And by the time we have our conversation and we were done, she was asking me for more, because I started asking the key questions like, do you have a blog? No. Are you doing any online marketing? No. And she's just like, she was so amazed. She was like, whoa, oh my gosh, I really need to connect with you. Can I get your information? And believe it or not, I gave her my information, and you know that she called me the next day? That's a perfect example of how you pull people within your zone of influence. I didn't try to sell her. All I did was just listen to her, and she was speaking on, she's still out there doing the footwork. She has no online presence. So right away I know that's where my zone is, and that's how I can pull someone in. And I started giving her, do you have a blog? Are you using a blog? Are you marketing online? No. Are you using Facebook? Not really. Are you doing? And I'm started asking these key questions, and right away, guess what? She pulls right into my zone, and now automatically she's in. Okay, so that's just a perfect example that I want to use. And you have to just be able to show up and be approachable. That's one. You can't be out somewhere when you're trying to pull someone into your zone and you are not approachable, because then it's going to look like, wait a minute, why do I want to go over there to that person when the person is not smiling? The person is so busy on their phone texting while we're in a circle of people that you're supposed to be open yourself up, that you're approachable, because you're looking busy, so I can't approach you when I'm in a public setting. All right? So another one, you have to show up, be authoritative and confidence. Push your chest back, stand firm, feel good about yourself, have your clarity, and just ready to approach that individual, ready for that person to approach you. Also, you have to make sure you're bringing people up. Bring them up. So many times people are hearing downwards things, negative things you can't do. You want to be the one to rise them up and bring them up. All right, so I'm going to turn it back over to Justin, that he can elaborate on number one and bring his portion on it. And go ahead, Justin. Back to you.
When it comes to this sort of topic, I think it's so powerful that we touched on target market in a few weeks ago when we were talking about your avatar and your understanding who to work with, but there's this key concept that you can't separate your life and your work. You can't, as an entrepreneur, as a coach, whatever, you can't separate those two things because it's sort of what you're taught to do. But here's a perfect example. When I started out, I was like, I need to get professional pictures. I need to create this website. And so what did I have? I had a picture of myself in this blue, dress shirt, like trying to look all nice and everything. And I had this website that was like super designed, looked amazing, but wasn't doing anything for me because me in a suit, I don't go out and dress up a lot. I'm just, I'm a beach guy. Like that, it didn't align with who I was. My website was something where nobody was getting to my website. It didn't have any content. It wasn't engaging in any way. It didn't have any sort of business, skills or business strategies within it that would help me actually grow my business. So I was doing something outside of really what the point is. And where I'm going with this is I want to really drive in this point about self-awareness, because who you are as a person, what your gifts are, what your personality profile is really a good indication of who are the people that you can help, who are the people that you're naturally going to be drawn to, right? So one thing I realized as I went through trying to understand how do I utilize my skills and who am I really helping, is I realized that there's a whole lot of training out there that's like, do this, 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 and this, and you'll be successful. And it's one size fits all training. And I realized that if that wasn't working for me, and I questioned, am I lazy? Why isn't this working? And really, when it came down to it, it wasn't that I was lazy or I didn't want it, because I wanted it. I was willing to do things that no one else was doing, but I just couldn't take a system that wasn't within myself, and I didn't understand it logically. I didn't understand it in a deep level, and because my personality is being a very creative person and to develop systems and to develop vision for people, give people new perspective, and with that self-understanding, I realized, wow, there's a whole lot of other people out there that are going through the same thing, and and then you can go out and you can start to define, okay, how do I find these people, right? And it's not coming over place from, know your target market, go out to these groups and go out to these events and find those people. It's not coming from a place of like, oh, okay, I gotta have to do this. I'm gonna go step by step and do this. It's coming from a place of passion and understanding of, this is my experience of what I went through, and people are going through it right now. And people are in a, people, whether they're further along than you at your place, or they're just starting that same type of journey, and they have so many, I think a lot of it comes down to your personality. Who are the people that are just like you? Who are the people, maybe it's your age range, outside of personality, maybe it's your age range, your gender, whatever it is for you, you're in a story right now, and the way to become great is to become self-aware, follow your passions and desires, and then step 2, find your vision and your dream of what that means for you, what's true in your heart, and then from there you can start understanding what is my ultimate goal, and then moving down, setting up more and more broken down goals to get to what are my daily actions or what are my weekly actions. So that's, we just hammered in point 1. I think time-wise we should probably move right into point 2. Rob, I'm going to turn it over to you quick.
Yes, let's rock it. All right, so perfect message here, Justin. Awesome message, awesome message. And there's some great, even myself getting some value from what you just said that I'm making actually notes on. All right, so we're going to move right into step 2, and this one is why association is so powerful. All right, now this can be a topic that can go on forever, because you guys know exactly where I'm going with it. You got to be careful, and we have to be careful as entrepreneurs or wherever we are, whatever we're trying to go, wherever we're trying to get to. We have to be careful of who we associate ourselves with. Sometimes when you're making changes in our lives, we have to sometimes make decisions that we are not willing to do. Those decisions going to be give up long-lasting friends, quote unquote, that you have, that you're moving in a different direction and they are not. Let me make that clear again. Sometimes we're going to have to make decisions to give up long-lasting friends or acquaintance that they are moving in a direction that you or we are not moving in, and we have to make a decision to just keep them as a friend, high and by, but they're not going to be within your association. The reason being is we attract how we act. So, with that said, when you're moving in one direction, they're going somewhere else, you have to just be careful of that. Now, you have to be careful of what you're listening to, what you're watching. I mean, I know I'm not saying anything that most of us probably don't already know. But you do not want to turn on the TV and looking at, by the way, this is going on with Obama, this is going on in the US, this is going on in wherever you're located at. I know you want to know what's going on, but here's what it does to you. It pulls you down to believe whatever is going on in their association. Here's a perfect example. I shut my TV down. My TV pretty much stay on the kids channel that my son can watch it. I don't want to know too much about what's going on out there, because here's what happened. They said there's a bad economy. So everyone started dragging down and sat back for going on almost 8 years now, waiting for the economy to rise, waiting for the government to do something for us, literally, and realizing that the years and the time already gone by, and guess what? Some of us are still in the same rut because we are still waiting, because we associate ourselves around that environment that feed into our subconscious mind. It feeds us. But if you block that from you and decided, you know what? There is people out there that can utilize your services. People out there waiting for you to step out and said, hey, I am here. I'm ready to help you to move into the direction you are working towards. I am here to guide you. I am here. They're waiting. They're out there. Your zone of influence are sitting out there just waiting. They're in the bed right now, sitting back, maybe into a frustration mood, maybe in tears, maybe just sitting back saying, I don't know what direction to go in, and waiting for you to say, hey, I'm here, and said, thank you so much. And they're going to tell you, thank you so much for letting me know that you can help me to be a solution to my problems. But when you start associating yourself around the wrong people, you will never get to where you're trying to go. Back to that same message I used before. We attract or we act. You want to chase people down and be around people that you are looking to get what they have. So if I first see Justin, let me use Justin for example. I seen Justin as a technology guy. He's a guy that figures things out. He's a guy that can take these lead pages and just integrate Facebook on it. He's a guy that can just take Aweber and just put it together. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to link myself with him because I want to learn how to do those type of things. I want to become a master in taking a blog site and designing this beautiful graphics on it. So I'm going to align myself with him. And that's how you want to make sure your association is so powerful around you, because what it's going to do to you is bring you up while people out there are looking for you to bring them up. All right, so those are just the powerful pieces of that you want to make sure that your social is clear every single day. You want to make sure you're bringing peace within your home. You want to make sure that if you are having issues at home with your significant other, you want to make sure that you're diffusing that situation, that you can have clarity, vision, and your spirit can be so clear that when you're out, people are not detecting, oh, I could just look at he or she and said they has problem. You want people to drawn over to you because they want your happiness. They want to be in your zone of influence. They want to be in your association. They want to feel that power that you have that spreading out to the universe. All right. So I want Justin to elaborate on number two. And I know you're getting some value from this. So back to you, Justin.
That was some of your best work ever, Rob. That was an amazing segment right there, man. I got tons of value just listening to you write notes here too myself. And so I want to piggyback on a few things you said actually. And one of the first things is like when you have a group of friends that you're used to and you love those people, but you start to feel like they're not aligned with where you're going, right? And they're not going to be the people that are going to get you to where you truly want to get to. That can be really, really hard. And I'm not speaking in a theoretical sense. I've lived this, and I had to really just basically not drop friends, but just move on in a new direction and really just find new people and like purposely find the people that I needed to find to get me out of this rut that I was in. And they weren't bad people. They weren't people that I look down on or I think they're in a bad place themselves or anything like that. It's just that if you really want to be successful and you want to do something great in this world for this world, you can't limit yourself by thinking you're going to be a bad person or how could I leave these people? That would be the wrong thing to do. You just have to really take it very seriously and think the people I'm around, the environment I'm in is so very important. And I kind of want to expand on this idea because we've been talking a lot about the people in your life, but I think it goes beyond that. I think it goes into your environment. Like I want to give an example about TV because Robbie touched on TV, and there's a TV show that I love, and it's called Survivor, and you probably heard of it. And I noticed that if I'm going to watch this show, right, it's going to be after I get all of what I need to get done. But even when I watch it, I need to be careful because it's like you can't do something in your life and think that it's not going to become part of your thoughts, right? If I don't want a TV show, which I don't want a TV show to impact what I'm doing on a daily basis and what I'm literally spending the rest of my day doing, which is going with doing things with Rob, doing things with the VisionFit Movement and coaching and all this stuff, everything that's happening now, that is my priority. So if I don't schedule time and understand exactly how I'm being exposed to things that are not moving me forward, I either need to eliminate them or I need to fix it, right? So over time, like over the past year or 16 months or whatnot, there's been tons of things that I've done that have just been cut out. Different games, different things you do online that are just waste of time. Because it's not so much the time that you're wasting by doing those things. What's actually more important than the time, which time is really like the most valuable asset we have, but what happens is where our focus is going, where our thoughts are coming from, our focus is going, and that's energy. And everything in our environment is going to shape where our focus is, where our energy goes, and where our energy goes, it's where how we manifest what is in our life, what we're doing, how we do take action, and what we're thinking about. So yeah, and this is deep within neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and because it's literally when we're young, when we're children, there's this critical period within humans, and it happens with many different species at the younger stage of their life. Sometimes when different species are born, they have associations that they create, and what happens a lot with children and even into teenage years, what happens is different experiences we go through, we are like a blank canvas, and we need to create meaning for different experiences. And the meaning that we associate with the experience is not always reality. It's just something that happens because we need to make determinations, and we have a human need, and it's like a biological need to create meaning with things. And some of the things that happen with children is they come up with things like, I'm not important, based on their parents not showing them attention. Uh, just crazy, crazy different thoughts that are imprinted on us that carry on throughout the years. And beyond childhood, this imprinting doesn't carry on, but what carries on is this needing to create meaning with everything that's happening. And when we create meaning for different things, if we're exposed to something over and over and over again, whether that's people, whether that's TV, whether that's whatever external stimulus you have in your life, if you go out to a bar all the time, right, and you're around those people, you start to live your life in a sense where it's like, this is what's fun. This is, well, I'm speaking from my own personal experience here, but I'm sure I'm sure there's people out there that hear me with this. Like, if you go out to a bar all the time, like, what does that mean to you? Is that something that is just, this is what we do, we go out to a bar, we have fun? Or is it something where it's like, I worked really hard and now now I have some time off, so I'm just going to enjoy myself tonight? So what the actual meaning behind what you're doing is really important. So every time you choose to do something, it might sound radical, because it probably is, but it's what is necessary to become very successful. And if you really want something bad enough, then you're going to take note of all these little things. So with that, Rob, I think I'm going to shift it right back over to you.
Very powerful. Very, 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 very powerful, man. All right. I know you guys get some serious value from that. All right. So now we're going to go off to number 3, and this is going to be some questions now, because I have my answer and you have to have your own answers now. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to really put it into thought and think about it. Whether you're going to think about it here, but think about it after, however way you feel is more comfortable for you. And I want you to really answer these questions. All right, so now number 3, we're going to talk about, where is your zone? That's one. All right, so ask yourself, what do you do regularly? Associate yourself with? What kind of messaging do you receive from those people? What do you watch? What do you read? Listen to regularly? What kind of messaging are you receiving from that? Whose zone of influence are you a part of? And what kind of influence are your words and actions are teaching them? I hope you can write that down if you want to go back to the replay, but take those questions down and you're going to answer those questions for yourself. But I'm going to give you my answers to those questions, because I love to use myself for example. And the changes came within me when I sat back and look in the mirror and point the finger at that person that was in the mirror. And this is very dear to me because it made me who I am today. It made me a family man who I am today. It made me a better man to my family today, because I had to ask myself those questions, and I had to look in the mirror, and I had to point the finger back at me. Now, when I made those changes and realized that the music I listened to, okay, was so damaging to me and was not doing anything to me whatsoever. So I changed that. Totally changed it. Literally. I'm not trying to be a saint, because I'm not a saint. But when you're listening to music like cock up your this and spread out your that and move around and all that type of stuff, I spend a lot of time in my car traveling. Now, when I'm listening to that, what is that really doing for me? So you know what? I made a change, and I went towards listening to the gospel station. Not trying to throw spirituality towards you. You have to do what's best for you. But that's what I want to listen to keep me moving in the right direction. I listen to motivational and inspirational CDs that while I'm driving, it is giving me value through my journey, feeding my mind with what I need to bring out to the universe to attract the proper zone of influence. Books. I'm not going to sit down and read a magazine of Spider-Man or Batman and Robin, or a magazine of somebody killing somebody, or a book of this trauma book. It is not going to do anything for me, because I'm not ever in the future looking to write a book about that person kill somebody or this person do something. No. So when I go in, and another question I want to ask you before I even go further, when you walk into a bookstore, where is the first place do you go towards? Let me answer that one too. For me, I stick towards business books, the Bible, inspirational books, fitness, holistic health, those type of stuff that's drawing to me, that I feed myself with, to make sure that my subconscious mind is being fed with positive energy at all given times. So those are the type of things that you want to ask yourself, and make sure you're feeding yourself all the time, because all that's going to do for you, and it's going to do for us, is continue to have us to grow. The economy is not bad. Let me help you there. People are seeing drastic, dramatic changes within their lives in this supposedly quote-unquote tough and bad economy, because you know what happened? The people that are seeing those type of changes, they made a shift. They shift their brilliance to somewhere else, and shift their subconscious mind to somewhere else, that it can feed them with the proper energy to get them to move where they're going. And when we start doing that, now you're going to go out and you have your zone of influence started attracting to you like wildfire. Don't ever within your mind thinking, oh, they cannot afford me, or I don't think I'm going to be successful at this. I don't think it's going to work because the economy is so bad. Wrong. I am a proven statistic of that one. Wrong. I saw in a bad, supposedly quote-unquote economy, I saw services launched about 6 months ago. And if you think about it, an online service, and people were pulling their credit cards out like no tomorrow to be aligned with it. Because why? The message was clear. The system had an awesome zone of influence. It was very influential, so people had no problem making a decision to pull out their credit card and to make a decision to move forward. People were scraping just to make it happen, because why? The person that did it and the company that did it had an awesome zone of influence going, and people were attracted to that. And with all that said, it came together that it was just like, whoa, now your belief system is there. Your vision be clear. You have to believe in what you believe in. Once you believe in it firmly and have passion, and when a person listens to you speak, they're not seeing attracted because you're there to sell them. They are seeing your vision, your passion, that I will lay down on the road, because why? I am ready to help you to get to where you need to be within your life. And that's how you're going to be attracting your zone, your influence towards you. And I won't go any further, but I just want you to think about those questions that I left you with, and just to kind of reiterate on topics that we talked about. And I'm going to turn it back over to Justin. How can you begin to stretch and increase your zone of influence? That was one. And why association is so powerful, and where is your zone? Where's your zone? Just ask yourself that. Where's your zone? Find it. It's there. I could feel it. I am looking at you right now. I could feel your zone. I could feel that it's there. And once you get up, get clarity on your message, and go out there in the broad way, don't ever give up because you strongly believe in attracting your zone of influence. So you will never give up. You will never quit because your mission is so big, your why is so big, your purpose is so humongous. So you're going to go through thick and thin. You're going to fail, and you're going to fail to win. So that's the end of this, my segment. And I want Justin to take it back over, and I want him to close it out. And after that, we'll introduce ourselves and hope that you guys can align with the VisionFit movement because this is powerful. All right. Thank you so much. Justin, back to you.
You know, questions are so powerful because when you ask the right questions, that will start to move you towards clarity. That will start to move you towards what is my zone of influence more easily instead of just writing it down on a piece of paper. So what you want to actually write down on a piece of paper is just the questions. And you've got to ask powerful questions. What a lot of people, when they're stuck, people tend to do is they ask questions that are like, why are things not working? Why am I stuck? What do I need to do? And it really just perpetuates the cycle of being in the same place because you're not creating solutions. You're perpetuating the problem. And so these questions Rob are super powerful. And definitely, I'm gonna right after this hang out, I'm doing that activity, man, because I haven't done that. So so ask questions that are going to be powerful and going to move you forward. Like question like, what do I have to do to start attracting people like me to myself? So how do I start to find people like me? And now when you're going around, you're walking around, when you're listening to music, when you're out and about, you're starting to think, is this aligning with where I'm trying to go? Is this going to help me find people like me, for instance, as an example? And to touch on the music, I want to really touch on this because this is a huge topic not a lot of people talk about. And here's how I see it. With when it comes to music, don't judge like an artist, for instance, on themselves. Like don't think, oh, I can't listen to like Jay-Z because he sings about something. But think about it like if you hear a song and you're going to listen to the lyrics, what are the lyrics telling you, okay? Because there are artists out there, and Jay-Z is a perfect example. There's songs he does that are just like ridiculous. Like what is he talking about? He's talking about like being out like in a club with a girl or something, and it's just like this is not doing anything for me. This is just putting something in my mind. Especially if you're in a place where you go out to clubs and bars a lot and you listen to that kind of music, that's your world. That's where you're gonna be. That's where you're gonna live in your mind. That's where you are. But if you can listen to Jay-Z, he has a song called History that's all about him creating a legacy through his family and generations and how his wife is such a part of that, and it's a very powerful message. So it's not just about say like, oh, I'm going to start listening to Christian music, and because you can overdo it. You can overdo it thinking. I mean, I went through this myself when I knew I needed to change a lot of different areas of my life. I really went to the extreme, and I stopped really being myself because I thought I needed to do this in some sort of like goody two shoes or some sort of idea of what being successful was. And then I realized, okay, well, it's okay. You don't have to just kill your own life by doing this. You can just position yourself and be like, okay, well, what is this really telling me? When I listen to this song, where is this putting me mentally, right? And for me, I love to listen to like inspiring songs, right? Like there's like Pharrell has that song Happy that people love. It's like very uplifting. Song by American authors, Best Day of My Life, and it's just all of this like uplifting, like positive, and even like for me, like I love intense and positive stuff because it just like it's hugely motivating. So what motivates you and what's pushing you towards where you want to go? And all right, two more points I want to make before we wrap up. The next point is about responsibility, and I heard this powerful thing, and I'm sorry I can't give credit to someone with this because I don't remember where I heard this, but there's this idea of how much responsibility are you going to take for your life, for relationships. So in like a romantic relationship or a close relationship, people think, okay, I'm gonna have 50% responsibility. The other person has 50% responsibility. I've heard in other places you got to take 75% and just allow them to have 25%. So you got to take on more responsibility. But here's the powerful message: you need to take 100% responsibility for their 0% responsibility. You have to put yourself in a position where you take full responsibility for interactions, for how things end up in your life, in every area, to fully control where your life's headed. And you can't expect anything from anybody because you just get let down in different areas. And when you're in that zone and when you're in that mindset, you start to attract people into your life that are the same way or living in a way where they're taking responsibility. Because if you're giving a lot to people and you're taking responsibility and people are just sort of abusing it or not showing it back, then you're going to quickly stop spending time with those people because you're in your mindset where you're moving forward. You're asking questions like heat-sinking missiles that are going to find the answers because that's what you're focused on. You're around people that are taking responsibility, and this kind of leads into my final point for tonight, and it really is about creating higher standards for yourself. You need to be someone who's going to set the standard, and that's what it takes being a leader. You need to set a standard where you're not looking for someone else to set it for you or set a goal for you, because basically if you do that, you're never going to find what it is that you're going to be great at. You're never going to be able to get to that level if you're not aligned with people that are going towards the same thing and are really edifying you and rising you up into leadership, right? Because there's a difference between being a leader and rising up other leaders and being a leader who's just sort of has their entourage that's just kind of always going to be below them, right? So with higher standards, who do you let into your physical space, okay? Like the people around you physically, are you going to literally be like, I'm not going to spend time with this person, even if it's a friend or a family member, you need to limit your exposure to them because it's just not where you're going, right? So who's in your physical space? Who are you letting in your physical space? It's literally like a bubble that you're in that you can determine where the walls are and who comes in or not, right? Who you accept wisdom from, okay? So if you're going to accept business training from somebody or you're going to accept relationship advice from somebody, who is that person and what is your standard for that? Are you going to just talk to friends that are gossiping all the time and giving you relationship advice that is just like, well, if you look at the results, right? So is that person someone who's been in the same bad relationships and they're going through the same things you are? Well, they're probably not going to be able to give you great relationship advice that's going to help you change at all. You're just going to kind of be in the same place over and over again. So who you accepting wisdom from is huge. And what I would suggest is just go to the top trainers, do all that you can to get the best training possible, and don't get watered down training from people. Go to whatever training you identify with or whatever sort of person you identify with, get it from the source of that. So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of companies, there's a lot of people that take trainings from people and they water it down or they switch it up and they make it their own, but it's never as good as where it came from. So just, really think about where am I getting my wisdom from, and is it really benefiting me, and is it the best? Is it like on that top level of wisdom that is really going to help me out? And also, what are the level of ambitions of people around you? So are you on highly ambitious people, or are you on people that are kind of trying to do something? Like if you're trying to start a business and you're just in like the startup phase, are you gonna align with people that are sort of like, well, this is really hard, we really care about starting your business, but we're going to try and we're going to see what happens and we're going to just be around each other? Or are you around people that are just like every day, in every spare hour, they're going out and they're trying to find new ideas, they're trying to talk to new people, they're trying to figure all these different things out and moving their business forward and getting clear on all these different things, and they're running together, and it's an engaging and a fast-paced environment. What is what is your standard for how you're gonna, where you're gonna put your business, where you're gonna put your life? How important is it to you? I mean, this is our only life. We only live once, so it's that important. And the majority of the world is very lackadaisical and very, they're normal, right? Like I don't consider, I consider myself crazy, to be honest with you, because this is not normal stuff. This is like radical stuff. This is like, how do I do everything I possibly can to create a great life and a great business? And I think when it comes to high standards, you can create your standards. You can write this stuff down, just like you write down questions. Rob gave you questions to write down about, you know, how do I create my zone of influence? How do I create that? And where is my zone? You can do the same thing for every part of your life. You can write down, what do I accept from my friends? What do I accept from my family? What do I accept from people who give me wisdom? All these points that I've just hashed on. And remember that as a closing point, I really want to just go back a little bit and just touch on this point of, you can't escape what you're doing. You can't do a little bit of it and then go into another area and just be like, okay, now I'm going to just watch a bunch of TV, or now I'm going to just hang out with a bunch of friends, or go out tonight because I did some work and now I want to do this. Because as long as you have that conflict of your thoughts, you know, where your environment is, it's always going to be kind of like in a war until you fully commit and you're all in one direction, and you have that inescapable exertion towards where you're going. That's when things can really move fast. That's when you gain momentum, and that's where you can just go all in with something. And it's not going to be hard when you're in that place and you feel it, and you're in a great place where it comes to the people you're around, in your zone, what your message is and what your vision is. When you're in that place and you're moving forward, this doesn't feel like work. This feels awesome. This feels way better than going out and grabbing a few drinks. This is way on a different level. It's not only fun, it's helping people, it's engaging, and there's nothing better than this. So I'm just going to leave it with that, Rob. I don't know if you have anything left to say, but I'll give you a minute if you do.
That is just powerful. I mean, this is just like powerful, man. Powerful stuff, I'll tell you. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to add. I'm just going to close it on that. And I just know that if you don't get value from this, you got to take this information and you got to share it, get it out there to folks, because change is there for everyone. All we need is the right information and the right zone of influence and the right stuff feed into our subconscious mind, and we'll be fine. I mean, we'll all can get there together. I mean, you guys can join us at the VisionFit Movement. Below this video, we're gonna have the link there for the Facebook group. I mean, come right in. It is free. We're just nothing but training, nothing but real, authentic things there that giving you and giving so many others breakthrough within their life. Stuff that's been hidden in the corner for secrets. Nowadays, I listen to gurus that quote unquote been around for years into this type of stuff and have these hidden things because they're afraid to really come with the truth and bring it out to you, because they have to keep it to the basic for you to keep doing the footwork and this and keep running around, and they're afraid. What we did was we collaborated together and said enough of this, and I said, nope, we're going to bring it out and we're going to give you everything you need to be successful in whatever you're doing, whether it's online, offline, inline, upline, downline, wherever you at, you can be successful with it, because there's a secret that was hidden out there. And I tell you, it is a secret. I'll give you a perfect example. When you click on this link and look at this lead page, you tell me why you didn't know this from before. You tell me why someone never says to you, market your product within a lead page. Go here, sign up for a lead page, and market your product within a lead page. Do not drive traffic to my company website, because it's not going to do you any good, because it's not different. If there's 10,000 distributors and all distributors are driving traffic to this one site, how is it going to how are you going to be different from everyone else? It's not going to happen. So now here you go. Take a lead page. Quick nibits come out of here. Create your own lead page. It's very simple. If you need help, Justin is there. He can guide you and assist you with it. I am here. I can do my best to help you with it, but he's a technology guru. All right? Get yourself a lead page. Market your product through lead pages. Write your content. If you need help, you can get the help to go to create and how to attach your Aweber to it. It will take whatever business you're doing, bar none, and you're going to hear a lot of it from a lot of million-dollar earners that are out there being true to the game. I just spent, a matter of fact, to show you how passionate I am about what we do, I just spent from 8:30 this morning until 7 p.m. on a live broadcast that I physically paid for with one of the top coach out there right now, Fabian Fredrickson. And I tell you, I sat down and listened to her train, and I'm there with her keying, and you're going to be hearing it coming up from a lot of folks going to tell you, get with lead pages. You need to connect with Justin, send him a message, inbox him and say, Justin, how can you help me to get my message out and lead pages? How can I start marketing my product on lead pages? It's very simple. It's not difficult. So with that said, I'm going to close out, and then I can turn it back over to Justin. And as you know, we'd love for you guys to join us at VisionFit Movement because it's an awesome movement. I'm here, Rob Shepard here, your health coach, lifestyle and business coach, where I can help you with your lasting changes to help you to get your message out to the universe. And Justin is there. And you can find me at shepherdfit.info, and it's spelled SHEPHERD.info. Coming soon will be shepherdfit.com. All right? Looking forward to connecting with you more. Have a blessed one, and thank you so much for stopping by and spending this 1 hour with us and checking out this Google Hangout. And I hope and I know you get some value from it. Back to you, Justin.
All right, and you can find me at Justin Messina, and my website is Justin-Messina. That's spelled MESSINA.com. In social media at JMessLife. All right, so that's JMESS Life. All right, Rob, it's been a good one, and we're going to close out now, and we're going to say, live Vision Fit, we're out.